Delaware, that Joe Biden is basically the emperor of this very small, odd state, very wealthy state, because all the corporations in America pretty much are headquartered there. But it's a town of 70,000 people, and as one of the jurors said today, it's a small town. Everybody very small, odd state, very wealthy state, because all the corporations in America pretty much are headquartered there. But it's a town of 70,000 people, and as one of the jurors said today, it's a small town. Everybody
right until Father's Day, with Joe Biden doubling down on gun charge mixed in here as well. Jackie, thank you. And against the backdrop of his son's criminal trial, President Biden is making a campaign issue out of former president is a convicted felon of the presidency. But as disturbing as that is, more damaging is the all-out assault Donald Trump is making on the American system of justice. Campaign seemingly sharpening its attacks against the former president as we near that first presidential debate on June 27th.
And happening today, family members of the 8 American hostages being held in Gaza will be on Capitol Hill meeting with leaders about the ongoing effort to bring their loved ones home. The family saying in a joint statement, quote, "The world must now take every necessary step to terminate this brutal conflict and retrieve all hostages from Gaza." It comes as President Biden pushes for a ceasefire, arguing Hamas's strength has waned. But Israeli officials say further military operations are necessary to dismantle the terrorist organization and get those hostages out of captivity.
And look at this. Take a moment to actually look at this. 48 American veterans getting a warm welcome from French children as they arrive in France to mark the 80th anniversary of D-Day. The children carrying a poster that reads, "To our forever heroes, thank you." A 100-year-old D-Day veteran remembering storming the beaches of Normandy. Watch.
Terrible. Some of the young fellas never even made the beach. It was so bad that we had to run over to get on the beach. That's how bad it was.
You still remember it strongly?
Do I? You better believe it. Like it happened yesterday.
The veterans will take part in parades and ceremonies throughout the week, including an official commemoration on Thursday. This 80th anniversary, we need to make sure that we honor these individuals, because not to be morbid, Carly, but the 90th anniversary, these brave men will not be there.
It is so nice to see them being honored. Yes, absolutely. All right, switching gears here, Hawaii's most active volcano erupting again after months of staying dormant. The volcano is located in a national park on the Big Island, and officials do not expect the lava to extend beyond the park. That's good news.
That is good news, but officials are warning that volcanic gases and debris could impact nearby residents, so they should be on the lookout for what they're calling volcanic smog. Let's check in now with meteorologist Adam Klotz for our Fox weather forecast. I mean, Hawaii is beautiful, but it literally is a volcano formation that basically became beautiful. Got to pay attention to the volcanic part.
Exactly. That's why it exists, and we're seeing a little bit more activity out there today. If you're not particularly familiar, this is what it looks like. This is the string of islands, the Hawaiian Islands, and it is the Big Island that we're seeing this currently. So kind of zooming you in there, it's the highest point. This is the volcano that's currently beginning to spew some of that lava, some of that ash. Something to pay attention to. Now, back here in the continental United States, one of the big stories here the next couple of days is going to be the heat. These are your current temperatures outside. You see a lot of 70s, some 80s out there, but the real focus is going to be extreme heat. We've got heat advisories across the western United States. Excessive heat likely here the next few days. It's fairly widespread as you're looking at 112 degrees in Phoenix, but look over at Las Vegas. Obviously, this is a place that gets really hot. The next few days, though, getting up around 110, 111 degrees. Typically, the first 110-degree day in this part of the country would be July 1st. So we are nearly a month ahead of schedule with some real extreme heat for a lot of these folks across the region. Otherwise, this is what it looks like across the country. A couple of risks of severe weather there right in the middle of the country. But the larger story is just that, guys, it is feeling hot, like summer hot, about a month early out west.
Yeah. Tough stuff. Adam, thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
Today, President Biden expected to sign an executive order on the border crisis just a few months before the election. And just a day after, you see him right there, that teenage migrant was arrested for shooting 2 NYPD officers. New York congressional candidate and NYPD veteran Allison Esposito here next.
And we just showed you this video a few minutes ago. A bike shop worker attacked by a maniac armed with a helmet. And that attack is just part of the chaos that unfolded. It's all caught on camera, and we're going to show you it and explain what happened coming up next.
Why did I keep missing out on this?
Before you were preventing migraine with Qulipta? Do you remember the pain, the worry, the canceled plans?
And look at me now.
You'll never truly forget migraine, but Qulipta reduces attacks, making 0 migraine days possible. It's the only pill of its kind that blocks CGRP and is approved to prevent migraine of any frequency, to help give you that forget you get migraine feeling.
Don't take it if allergic to Qulipta. Most common side effects are nausea, constipation, and sleepiness. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
Qulipta, the forget you get migraine medicine.
From real quality that starts in our factory to real performance in your backyard, Steel tools are as tough and dependable as the people who use them. This Father's Day, give him the gift that's built for Dad. Right now, save $50 on select AK System battery tool sets. Real Steel.
Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older, but most guys don't do anything about it. Skincare. They think it's too expensive and they don't believe that anything actually works. But here's the thing. Most guys are wrong because there are actually a few ways to reduce your eye bags, and one of the easiest, Particle 6-in-1 face cream, actually works really well. And most guys actually can afford it. Because it's 6-in-1 formula means you're getting 6 products packed into one. Just wash your face and then massage in Particle for 30 seconds. Before you know it, you're looking younger than, well, most guys. But forget about most guys. Just be you, but a younger version of you. You can order right now at particlemen.com. We've got free shipping in the United States, plus 30-day money-back guarantee.
A heart attack? Do they have life insurance?
No.
But we have life insurance. John.
I'm trying to find something we can afford.
Fortunately, in only a few minutes, SelectQuote found John a $500,000 policy for only $29 a month. And his wife Anne a $500,000 policy for only $21 a month. Go to SelectQuote.com now and get the insurance your family needs
at a price you can afford. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Air Moto. Inflate anything in minutes. The Air Moto is a portable air pump that features a powerful rechargeable battery capable of filling any flat tire. That means you are guaranteed to quickly and easily inflate your tires wherever you are. It's simple. Save time, save money, avoid being stranded on the road miles from a gas station. The Air Moto gives you peace of mind at the push of a button. Learn more at getairmoto.com.
Harris Faulkner puts America's news in focus.
We begin here demanding answers.
Don't miss the Faulkner Focus, weekdays at 11 on Fox News Channel.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T. Nugenix Total T is the unique man-boosting formula powered by Tesnor, a key ingredient clinically researched to help increase testosterone levels, to help you feel stronger, leaner, with more muscle and drive. Nugenix is #1 doctor recommended, #1 at GNC, and #1 at Walmart. But you can only get your complimentary bottle by texting AWARD to 215-215.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix now. Text AWARD to 215-215. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Testosterone Multivitamin, the advanced nutritional support for active men, absolutely free.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily, so we really made a commitment to quality.
All of our flags are finished with bar tacking at all of the stress points, and they are sewn using double needle lock stitching.
All of our flags materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com.
President Biden is expected to take executive action on the border crisis today that could partially shut down asylum processing along the U.S.-Mexico border.
Madeline Rivera has more. Maddie.
Hey, good morning, guys. The White House has yet to publicly confirm their plans, but several reports, including from the Associated Press, say this executive order would shut down asylum requests between ports of entry once illegal border crossings hit 2,500. The border would only reopen once this number drops to 1,500. The move will likely be met with legal challenges, and it marks a significant shift for President Biden. He's facing a lot of bipartisan pressure, though, to take stronger action on an issue that polls show is a major political vulnerability for him ahead of November. A Fox News poll shows last month 64% of registered voters disapprove of his handling of border security. Still, the expected executive order will do much to improve his polling numbers or the situation at the southern border.
I expect no change. This is all an election year deathbed conversion by Joe Biden. Basically, this executive order, which would be, by my count, roughly the 95th executive order he's issued, does nothing to change the ability to hold people as opposed to catch them and release them. And it actually says the first 2,500 that come across the border get in free, will be released into the interior of the country.
Separately, in New York City, the NYPD says charges are pending against a Venezuelan migrant, 19-year-old Bernardo Raul Castro Mata, for allegedly shooting two officers early Monday. Officers had tried pulling him over for riding his moped on the wrong side of the street, but police say Castro Mata ditched his bike and ran off before firing at officers. He entered the country illegally through Eagle Pass, Texas, last July. Todd.
Maddie, thank you so much. Allison Esposito is a New York congressional candidate, served nearly 25 years as an NYPD officer, and she joins us now. Allison, if not for a bulletproof vest, we would very likely be up here right now in this very position previewing a funeral, and that is horrible. As a former NYPD officer, what goes through your mind when you basically see the suspect had his illegal immigration case dismissed? What's going on here?
Well, what goes through my mind? Fear. Fear for my cops. 25 years, I retired as a deputy inspector and commander in the New York City Police Department, and I sent my cops out every single day with fear in their eyes. Not even just fear of losing their lives, but their livelihoods and potentially their freedom for doing the job that we need them to do, that society asks them to do. And you have these criminals out on the streets, emboldened. These sanctuary city policies, this poor immigration policy by Joe Biden, the sanctuary cities, Kathy Hochul, my opponent, Pat Ryan, Mayor Adams, making places sanctuary cities. It's absolutely, completely unacceptable. You have a 19-year-old illegal immigrant here. He didn't walk into a gun store and get that gun. That is an illegal firearm. And, you know, Kathy Hochul's rules for sensitive locations, he didn't listen to that.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, right? It's shocking, isn't it? So we have a problem. Even the city council, the reckless New York City Council is saying, well, maybe we should put forth some kind of a policy to renege on sanctuary cities. This is a problem. The problem is, in day one, Joe Biden came in, and with a stroke of his pen, he changed all of the border policies. He ended Remain in Mexico. He allowed Title 42 to expire. He reinstated catch and release. He stopped construction of the southern border wall, and he opened up the border. Okay, this is a very big problem. You had 300 known terrorists cross our southern border in fiscal year 2020 that we caught. That's not about the gotaways, the millions of gotaways that are in our country. We have an incredible problem with these sanctuary cities. We have an incredible problem at the southern border, and criminals are coming over. Illegal fentanyl is coming over. Drugs they're killing our people. And the biggest thing to take home with this is, you know, it wasn't Laken Riley or the people that were killed because of the reckless border policy. It wasn't the NYPD officers that were shot. It wasn't the melees that are happening in Times Square. It wasn't the 2 individuals killed in my home district in Middletown by someone who was on the deportation list. It wasn't any of that that caused Joe Biden to wake up and say, hey, maybe I should do something about the border. It was an election year.
It's November 5th. Right. But when you talk about Joe Biden waking up, what he's proposing is daily encounters. Once they hit 2,500, that's when he's going to shut them off. That's what is being reported as the new Biden executive order. Right. Allison, shouldn't that number be 1? You know, when it reaches 1, we shut down the border.
Absolutely. See, for a while, Biden has been going, oh, Congress has to help me act. Congress has to do something. Congress did do something. They passed H.R. 2, Secure the Border bill. That would have shut down our border, redone the border wall, reinstated the Remain in Mexico policy. Right. This is what the House did. Now, they want to talk about the Senate bill that never even came out, but that would have allowed 5,000 to cross every day, and it would have codified it into law. Joe Biden needs to act. It's not, I'll allow a little bit at a time. It has to end now. This is too little, too late. Our Americans are suffering. Not only are they being killed and injured, our police are being shot, but there are billions of taxpayer dollars that are going to house, to feed, to clothe these illegal immigrants, not to mention the thousands of women and children that are being sex trafficked into our country.
It's horrific.
This is a horrific... Look, he has to shut down the border. He has to protect his American people. He has to protect those women and children. Joe Biden is smoke and mirrors right now. He's only acting because there's an election, and the American people see through it, and they should be very angry. And November 5th is coming.
Yeah, he basically said, look, I have no power as president to do an executive action, 94 executive actions notwithstanding. Allison Esposito, appreciate your time and insight. Keep us posted on your race.
Absolutely.
Carly, over to you.
All right, take a look at this surveillance footage of a man attacking a bike shop worker with a helmet in Queens. And then another person runs out of the store and stabs the attacker. Despite being stabbed, he continues the attack, even throwing something through the bike shop window. Police say the man even fought the responding police officers, biting one of them in the hand. The suspect and that injured police officer were both taken to a nearby hospital. Charges are pending against that man. Wild footage out of Queens. And a new crime wave is hitting Southern California that you are not going to believe. Thieves are now stealing fire hydrants. Officials believe they hope to sell them at metal recycling yards. The thieves turn off the water, unbolt the hydrants, then use vehicles to knock them out of place. You could see them doing that in this video right here. Residents cannot believe this is happening.
This is so crazy. It's mind-boggling that just a fire hydrant will be stolen. They're in and out in 10 minutes.
Yeah, water companies in California now working to replace the hydrants are installing locking shields over the bolts that connect them to the piping in the ground. Over 300 have reportedly been stolen since the beginning of 2023. They're literally ripping things out of the ground in California. My goodness. All right, today opening statements begin in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial, and the media's coverage of this case is a little different than their coverage of former President Trump's trial. Watch.
The gun trial could expose personal, embarrassing details of the Biden family's private life.
This is a historic case, but it is also a sad and sordid tale of drug addiction and its consequences in the Biden family.
And WNBA player Kennedy Carter doubling down on her controversial foul against Caitlin Clark. We messed up her name in the A block. Hopefully, we apologize, but hopefully she won't hit us. Tommy Lahren here to talk about all of it. Don't go anywhere.
sound check. Man, they sound pretty good. Hell, I ain't even bought.
Your calling. Some people find theirs at an early age, others later in life. No matter when you find it, consider yourself lucky, because it becomes your everything. Our calling was to build trucks, and that's why trucks are what we do. We put our everything in every truck, so that when you find your calling, nothing can stop you from answering it.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens. This is not just a pharmacy. This is living the care in healthcare. Walgreens.
Have you always had trouble losing weight and keeping it off? Same.
Discover the power of Wegovy.
With Wegovy, I lost 35 pounds. And some lost over 46 pounds.
And I'm keeping the weight off.
Wegovy helps you lose weight and keep it off.
I'm reducing my risk.
Wegovy is the only FDA-approved weight management medicine that's proven to reduce risk of major cardiovascular events in adults with known heart disease and with either obesity or overweight.
Wegovy shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
With Wegovy,
I'm losing weight.
I'm keeping it off.
And I'm lowering my CV risk.
That's the power of winning! Check your cost and coverage before talking to your healthcare professional about Wegovy.
I'm excited to announce we're having a huge MyPillow spring sale. And here's a few examples. Buy one of our MyPillow 2.0s, you get another MyPillow 2.0 absolutely free. Made with cooling technology, the best pillow ever just got even better. And this just in, 9 brand new colors and styles of our Percale bed sheets. They're made with the finest long staple cotton, and now you can save 50% or more. That's as low as $24.98. And for the first time this year, I'm bringing you our My Slippers and Sandals for as low as $25 a pair. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get your MyPillow 2.0s. Buy one, get one free. Percale sheets as low as $24.98. My Slippers and Sandals as low as $25 a pair. And for a limited time, when you order $75 or more, your entire order ships absolutely free.
Gravite, the new cologne for men by Particle. A powerful, unforgettable scent that lasts all day. Wear it day or night, work or play. Gravite, the new cologne for men by Particle. Get 25% off using the promo code. Free shipping plus 30-day money-back guarantee.
We planned well for retirement, but I wish we had more cash.
You think those two have any idea that they can sell their life insurance policy for cash, so they're basically sitting on a gold mine? I don't think they have a clue. That's crazy. Well, not everyone knows Coventry has helped thousands of people sell their policies for cash, even term policies. I can't believe they're just sitting up there, sitting on all this cash.
If you own a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more, you can sell all or part of it to Coventry, even a term policy, for cash or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums.
Someone needs to tell them that they're sitting on a gold mine and you have no idea. Hey guys, you're sitting on a gold mine. Come on,
Do you hear that?
I don't hear anything anymore.
Find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. Call Coventry Direct today at 800-798-6200 or visit coventrydirect.com.
Well, we are just hours away from opening statements in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial, and so far Hunter is already getting different treatment from the media than former President Trump. Cue the sympathy statements.
The gun trial could expose personal, embarrassing details of the Biden family's private life, a major distraction for President Biden as he fights for re-election.
This is a historic case, but it is also a sad and sordid tale of drug addiction and its consequences in the Biden family, as in so many American families, and it carries the very real potential of personal and political pain for the president.
Hunter Biden has always been open about his battles with substance abuse, but this trial is going to put some graphic details out there in open court.
Tomi Lahren is a host on Outkick.com, and she joins us now. Tomi, the emotion with which those reports were delivered. The mainstream media clearly shedding a proverbial tear for Hunter. I'm looking. Are you? Are you shedding a tear, Tomi?
Oh, so many tears. I've already cried ahead of the segment, Todd and Carly, but I just love the description here of the graphic details. When we had to listen to Stormy Daniels' testimony for how many hours with graphic details that really had nothing to do with the alleged crime that Donald Trump was charged with and now convicted with. So I don't want to hear the media clutch their pearls about graphic details, but there's so much here, Todd and Carly, so much hypocrisy. We don't have time to go into it. I will just say, in comparing this to the Trump trial and what he was charged with and the so-called election interference, you know, a lot of this Hunter Biden case is going to revolve around that laptop from hell that we were told was Russian disinformation by those dozens of intelligence officials, by Joe Biden himself during the presidential debates last go around. So if you want to talk about election interference, I think we're going to be hearing a whole lot more about that laptop. Last thing I'll say about this, also very interesting to hear the media clutch their pearls about Hunter Biden when usually we hear them rail against the Second Amendment. They have no love for gun owners or for the right to bear arms, but now all of a sudden a drug addict getting a weapon and lying on a form, somehow that doesn't seem to be a bridge too far. So much hypocrisy, so little time.
Yeah, well, prosecutors say they plan to call about a dozen witnesses, including his past romantic partners. Those include his ex-wife, his brother's widow, and London Roberts, who is the mother of that little girl that the Biden family doesn't acknowledge. So quite the lineup there. He does have the support of his family. The First Lady was in the courtroom yesterday, so was his sister. And President Biden released a statement. But, Tomi, you touched on something that I also picked up on. The group that's noticeably silent here are the gun rights activists that you would think would be incensed about the first son owning a gun while a drug addict, but they're not saying anything. Why is that?
Well, again, we always know that there's different rules for Democrats, especially if you have an important and special last name like Biden. So the fact that the media is willing to just change their narrative on a whim, depending on who is involved, I mean, there couldn't be anything more textbook mainstream media than that. I will also say I would expect to see Robert De Niro and other celebrities outside of this trial because they told us they had to show up because that's where the cameras were last week for the Trump trial. So maybe we'll see them outside the courthouse today. I'm not going to bet on it, but, you know, that would track. That would be appropriate.
Let's be clear. Hunter Biden has more relatives at this thing than I had at any of my graduations. That sounds like a joke, but that is a clear intimidation tactic in Wilmington, which is Joe Biden's haunt. That's where he lives. That's where he's famous. That's a city he made. They're trying to send a message to the jury, and that's not right. Before we let you go, WNBA player Kennedy Carter is defending her hard foul on Caitlin Clark. Here's what Carter just said in her latest interview. Quote, "I don't have any regrets with anything. I'm going to compete and play 100% hard, no matter who it is, like I said, or who we're playing. No, I don't have any regrets." Tomi, that body check is a move to compete when you're playing hockey, not women's basketball. So what's really going on here?
The dog pile on Caitlin Clark, somebody who came in and is bringing so much spotlight and so many eyes to the WNBA, is really, really disappointing. And you've got members of the media also that are talking about her popularity must be attributed to the fact that she is white, the fact that she is straight. I mean, it's so undeserved the way that they're attacking this girl that has been nothing but professional, nothing but classy. For her part in all of this, she has not taken part in any of these cat fights. And I'll also say it's not an easy time for women's sports with everything going on. We certainly don't need female athletes attacking one another like this. Perhaps that's why female team sports never really catch on. I hope that this passes. I hope that they realize what Caitlin Clark is doing for their entire association. But once again, guys, I'm not going to hold my breath, because it seems to me that they are dedicated to hating this girl when they really should be thanking her.
Yeah, exactly. Do these players not realize that without Caitlin Clark, nobody's watching the WNBA, nobody watched it before, and she's making them tons of money, sort of like Tiger resuscitated golf? It makes no sense, but you explained it. Tommy, thank you.
Thanks, Tommy.
Now to baseball. The latest gambling controversy in Major League Baseball has a San Diego Padres player facing a possible lifetime ban. Tucupita Marcano, which in and of itself sounds like a bet, is accused of betting on games involving the Pittsburgh Pirates while he played for them last season. Marcano allegedly placed the bets while he was injured last year. Those bets were then flagged by a sports book, reported to the league. MLB and Marcano have both declined to comment so far, but league rules explicitly state that any player who bets on games involving his own team is subject to being banned for life. Let's call it what it is, the Pete Rose rule. All right, who doesn't love the 80s? You can catch me and some of your other Fox favorite personalities in brand new episodes of the Fox Nation series, Who Can Forget? Here's a clip from one of our episodes on the year 1983.
Whenever Footloose comes on at a wedding, I have to step on a chair and jump off of it. I'm sorry. That's what the contract says.
Kenny Loggins is a friggin' genius, and there should be monuments erected in his honor.
Indiana Jones, Freddy. Indiana Jones, Freddy.
I love Indiana Jones, by the way. I dressed up as Indiana Jones for like 20 consecutive Halloweens. New episodes of Who Can Forget are available now on Fox Nation. Make sure you check them out.
That's cool.
They just dropped today, as the kids say, so make sure you check them out. It's so much fun.
Yes.
So much fun doing it.
If you're saying, as the kids say, you were born before 1980.
Exactly,
That's
and
right.
I was. Former President Trump and the RNC just raised $141 million in the month of May, and here's what the Biden campaign has to say about it.
Look, we'll see if they, in fact, raise that money when they have to file their financial disclosures in mid-next month, or mid-this month, I should say. But what's important is not the money that you're raising. What's important is what you do with it.
And we got some bad news here. Keeping your home cool this summer expected to cost more than $700. Those are the highest costs in nearly a decade, but some are blaming climate change. Sharon Cassoni takes a look at those stories and more coming up next.
Angels roll their eyes. What doesn't kill me makes me want you more. And it's blue. The shape of your body is blue. The feeling I got it is
What was not to love about the 80s?
Indiana Jones,
E.T.
Freddy.
Classic flicks.
They picked Barbara Billingsley to speak Jive.
Primetime picks. And a cultural mix.
It's not a happy tree because it needs a friend.
From a decade where the nostalgia sticks.
Because everyone had a sense of humor back then, we could all take a joke.
3 new episodes of Who Can Forget from the 80s, streaming now on Fox Nation. America is streaming.
Someone needs to customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Wait, there's an elevator?
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
It's such a pretty world today. Look at the sunshine.
Book in the Hotels.com app to find your perfect somewhere.
They say seeing is believing, but with Stearns & Foster, that's only part of the story. We handcraft every Stearns & Foster using the finest materials like indulgent memory foam and ultra-conforming IntelliCoils for a beautiful mattress and indescribable comfort every single night. During our Memorial Day sale, bring home incredible comfort with savings up to $800 on select adjustable mattress sets. Stearns & Foster, what comfort should be. Learn more at stearnsandfoster.com.
My name is Annie, and I'm a certified dietary manager. I love to work in my garden. I'm really into herbs and things because I like to cook. I have been taking Balance in Nature for over 2.5 years. I mean, this one thing I told my son, I said, if anything ever happens to me, the one thing I want is my Balance in Nature. I don't care if I don't have anything else, but you make sure you order that for me every month. My friends are like, don't you ever stop? And I go, well, sometimes, but I just love to keep busy. I tell everybody about Balance in Nature. I feel like everybody ought to take them.
Make a splash into summer with 35% off plus a free fiber and spice supplement while supplies last as a preferred customer with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this special offer by using discount code Fox News. Offer ends Friday.
I'm Matthew.
I'm Melissa, and together we started Fresh Clean Threads.
For most of my life, I've worn a black t-shirt, and most were either too short, too baggy, or weren't consistent.
Using my years of apparel experience, we set out to make the world's best fitting t-shirt.
Since day one, our Fresh Clean tees were made to offer a flattering fit for all body types and not break the bank. Unleash your confidence at freshcleanthreads.com.
Parents to liberal media and courts are desperate to stop President Trump, but he's poised to win back the White House. And Mike Huckabee wants to show your kids why with the Kid's Guide to President Trump. Get it for free at freetrumpguide.com. That's freetrumpguide.com.
Ashley is having a Stars and Stripes preview mattress sale. Shop early for mattress hot buys, now only $7.99. And for a limited time, you can get a free adjustable base upgrade with an Align by Ashley Sleep mattress purchase. Only at Ashley.
Jesse Waters saying what most won't.
It's an election year and Joe Biden's in trouble.
Jesse Waters Primetime, weeknights on Fox News Channel.
Here at Allegiance Flag Supply, we grew sick and tired of flying flags that were made overseas, flags that would rip and tear easily, so we really made a commitment to quality.
All of our flags are finished with bar tacking at all of the stress points, and they are sewn using double needle lock stitching.
All of our flags materials are sourced in America, and they are made by American seamstresses. So we're American made from beginning to end.
Shop now at showallegiance.com.
Hello, welcome to T-Town. Like men over 40 everywhere. These guys experience a drop in testosterone. Don't worry, it happens to all of us. Some guys took my advice about how to boost their testosterone, and some didn't. This guy got the message loud and clear.
That's right, Nugenix Total T.
Nugenix Total T is the unique man-boosting formula powered by Tesnor, a key ingredient clinically researched to help increase testosterone levels. To help you feel stronger, leaner, with more muscle and drive. Nugenix is #1 doctor recommended, #1 at GNC, and #1 at Walmart. But you can only get your complimentary bottle by texting FRONT to 369-369.
Thanks. It'll make you feel like a new man. And by the way, she'll like it too.
Get your complimentary bottle of Nugenix now. Text FRONT to 369-369. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator ever. Absolutely free.
Former President Trump and the RNC reportedly raking in a record-breaking $141 million last month. That is more than President Biden's campaign was able to raise in March and April.
Cheryl Casoni from our sister network Fox Business is here with more. Hi, Cheryl.
Hey, guys. Good morning. So that is right. The difference in numbers is striking between the two campaigns. Former President Trump raising $141 million in May, the same month his trial was underway here in New York, and he was found guilty on all counts. If you combine March and April, President Biden raising $127 million. Now, just over 37% of Trump's donations coming in after the verdict. When he was asked about the difference, a junior Biden campaign spokesperson said this.
Look, we'll see if they, in fact, raise that money when they have to file their financial disclosures in mid-next month, or mid-this month, I should say. But what's important is not the money that you're raising. What's important is what you do with it.
So a quarter of the Trump donations were actually first-time donors this cycle. That's according to the campaign.
We will see what the polls say when they come out this week. Meantime, a groundbreaking social media bill coming right out of New York.
It really is. And it's interesting because New York lawmakers and Governor Kathy Hochul, to be clear, reaching a deal on landmark legislation that would, for the first time on a state level, regulate social media feeds for kids. So New York is going to be the first state to do so if this passes. So the bill would restrict companies like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram from using addictive algorithms for users under the age of 18 and prevent big tech firms from profiting from the kids' data. It may head to the state assembly by the end of the week. That's the expectation. Remember, this is a lot of this is on the heels of that huge string of Wall Street Journal articles that showed what Instagram was doing, in particular to teen girls, and the emotional effects it was having on them, leading to higher suicide rates and other issues. So at least something's changing. It'll be interesting to see if other states follow suit. What might be easier for the companies would be a federal law, but there's a lot of things that don't seem to be happening in Washington right now.
Thank you, lobbyists. Yeah.
All right, let's talk about the cost of cooling our homes this summer.
Yeah, well, are you guys loving the heat? Like,
yeah,
I'm loving
so
the
far,
warmth,
yes.
right?
Yes,
okay.
I am.
But you may not love the bill.
Correct.
It's going to be coming. Cooling a home this summer is expected to hit a 10-year high, so brace yourself for this. The average cost predicted to be, on average, $719 between June and September. 2 years ago, the cost was $573 on average. It's about a 25% jump. The report from the National Energy Assistance Directors Association is blaming climate change. Mark Wolf says, quote, it's inflation in the sense that you have to spend more to cool your house, but you're using more of it, so you can't blame the price. This is more the price of climate change. I'm pretty sure that there's not that big of a temperature difference from 2021 to 2024, but that's just me.
I'm using less energy. It's just the energy cost has doubled. That has nothing to do with climate change. That's ridiculous.
And that brings us perfectly to our next topic. Don't miss Cheryl on Mornings with Maria all morning long. Cheryl, thank you so much. OPEC Plus, the top oil-producing nations, have agreed to keep oil production cuts in place that were due to expire this month. OPEC members are cutting output by over 5 million barrels a day, which is about 5% of global demand, and the cuts will last through 2025, which raises questions about the cost of gas through the November election. Tim Stewart is the president of the U.S. Oil and Gas Association, and he joins me now. Tim, good morning to you. So you hear about production cuts at a time when demand is going to increase because of the summer driving season, and you start to wonder, what does this mean for me and everybody else that's filling up our tank at the gas station? What do you think?
You know, it's really interesting. This is indicative of the fact that while OPEC certainly influences the price of oil, but they've kind of lost the ability to completely control it like they had 20 years ago. This was designed to keep lower production levels in place. And part of the reason why they have to do that is because U.S. producers are so prolific now where we weren't in the last 20 years. And so we've been able to insulate the U.S. consumer against the ability of OPEC to control a global price, which in their mind, they'd love to have it at $100 a barrel, and our productions be able to keep it around that $75 to $80 a barrel for U.S. consumers. So that's a good thing, actually.
That is a good thing. And President Biden recently said that he's going to tap into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve to keep prices down. What do you think about that decision? Will it work?
Well, that one particular announcement was on the gasoline reserve in particular, which was for the Northeast. And if you think about it, that reserve was put in place after Hurricane Sandy took place. And the fact of the matter is that's only going to have a very, very small impact, maybe 2 or 3 cents per gallon, and for a short term. Frankly, it's smarter to have a reserve like that in place in case there's some supply disruption, like another hurricane or some other global event. Again, it's the administration being very short-sighted in some particular cases.
Well, I also want to ask you, going back to this OPEC Plus decision to keep production cuts in place, why they're making that decision right now. There have been several theories. Some of them are that Saudi Arabia wants to boost their economy, but others say that there might be a political element to it. Being an election year, the Saudi Crown Prince, not a huge fan of President Biden, who called him a pariah. So what do you think about the decision? Why is it happening now?
Well, it's only a cartel if everybody acts like a cartel. And there's some OPEC members who have some very expensive bills that come in every month. You know, Russia, for example, has got to fund a war somehow. And the Saudis have a really, really expensive and, frankly, ambitious economic agenda. When you have Iran putting an extra 2 million barrels into the system every single day, now that's going to China. There's a lot of factors and dynamics that weren't in place under the old rules, so to speak. I do think, though, that the Saudis are watching U.S. demand in particular, and we haven't seen that demand kick in just yet. It usually kicks in June after Labor Day, and it's that summer driving season. But what we're seeing is that demand's a little soft, and that's because of inflation. It's because consumers are kind of tapped out on their credit cards right now because of the economy. And I think the Saudis are watching that very carefully. They're also watching what happens with China as well.
So what's your bottom line when it comes to gas prices this summer?
The bottom line for us is we're doing everything we can. Our production levels are at record high, despite what the administration's tried to do with this. They've controlled their portion of the U.S. asset on the federal lands, which they have largely created a real problem that's going to be longer term for us, and they're squeezing down on our ability to produce in the future, not necessarily right now, but a year or two from now. If they don't change their policies, the federal production is going to be down significantly, and that's going to have an impact on prices as well. But the U.S. producers, we're doing everything we can, and frankly, we're at record highs right now. And so I think the U.S. consumer is going to be able to be insulated a little bit from that. That position that we're in as a swing producer globally, Saudis are not very happy with us that we put ourselves in that situation that we weren't 20 years ago.
That is good news, and you heard it here. Tim Stewart, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.
Thanks, you guys.
All right, Dr. Fauci makes a big admission about the Wuhan lab leak theory. Listen to this.
Actually, I've also been very, very clear and said multiple times that I don't think the concept of there being a lab leak is inherently a conspiracy theory. What is conspiracy is the kind of distortions of that particular subject.
It's funny, when people usually say they've been very clear, they haven't been very clear at all. Senator Joni Ernst has been pressing Dr. Fauci about this for years, and she joins us live next.
But first, Steve Doocy with a preview of what's coming up on Fox and Friends. And Steve, the pressure's on. Carly has set the bar, said you need to be very clear with this tease. So have at it, Deuce.
From Dr. Fauci to Mr. Grouchy. I'm going to just read this thing, okay?
Take it away, Steve.
Is that what it says? Awesome. Thank you very much, Todd and Carly. Yep, coming up on Fox and Friends, exactly, let's see, 8 minutes and 30 seconds from right now. The jury is chosen and opening statements begin today in Hunter Biden's federal gun trial. It's going to start at 9 a.m. sharp. We are outside the courthouse in Delaware, so stay tuned. Plus, it's only 5 months out from the election, and therefore the Biden administration is finally taking action on the border crisis. Will it sway voters at this point, or is it too little too late? And military recruitment troubles continue. Pete Hegseth will break down his new Fox book that is coming out today and what he thinks is causing the shortage. And stealing this show, Congressman John Rose gave a memorable viral speech on the House floor, and it has nothing to do with what he said. It has everything to do with his 6-year-old son making the faces behind him. Adorable. They're both going to be with us 1 hour from right now, right here on this very busy Tuesday. Todd and Carly back in a couple. You're watching Fox and Friends first.
Veteran homeowners, need cash but worried you can't get a home loan because of your credit? Here's great news. At NewDay, we've been granted automatic authority by the VA to make our own loan approval decisions. In fact, if you've had credit challenges and missed a payment along the way, you're more than 5 times more likely to get approved for the NewDay 100 VA cash out loan. No one knows veterans like NewDay USA.
Go to newdayusa.com.
This bathroom's so musty.
Damprid's new fast-acting drop-in tab attracts and traps excess moisture, eliminating musty odors.
Electric for short trips, gas for long.
Quite the paradox.
It really is both. The Lexus RX plug-in hybrid.
Most guys get serious eye bags as they get older. But most guys don't do anything about it.
Because most guys don't really understand skincare. They think it's too expensive and they don't believe that anything actually works. But here's the thing. Most guys are wrong because there are actually a few ways to reduce your eye bags, and one of the easiest, Particle 6-in-1 face cream, actually works really well. And most guys actually can afford it. Because it's 6-in-1 formula means you're getting 6 products packed into one. Just wash your face and then massage in Particle for 30 seconds. Before you know it, you're looking younger than, well, most guys. But forget about most guys. Just be you, but a younger version of you. You can order right now at particlemen.com. We've got free shipping in the United States, plus 30-day money-back guarantee.
Anybody who owns property should worry about home title theft. There's no other crime that is so easy, so quick, and so lucrative.
Your home, your equity, and your peace of mind can all be stolen in one fell swoop by home title thieves like Matthew Cox.
Nobody thinks that I can take their house. Nobody thinks that.
Believe it or not, a single-page document is all it takes to transfer proof of ownership out of your name.
People think there's a whole huge process, but the truth is, it's a one-page document.
But it still must get through one final barrier, the county clerk.
When someone comes in with fraudulent deed, if it's notarized and all the spaces are filled in, we by statute have to accept it. We cannot give it back to them and say, we know this is fraudulent, we're not going to file it. That's against the law.
It's public records. It's a recording system. They don't make a phone call, they record it, that's all they do.
Bottom line is, yes, it happens, and we can't stop it from happening, and it only takes once for it to sting you, and it's a very sad thing to watch.
You put your love into the house, and all of a sudden, it might not be yours. It's a devastating crime.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock will monitor your title nonstop, alerting you to suspicious activity.
If you can get a warning notice that this first step has happened, you can stop the rest.
This person from somewhere in New York stole our property. So I was surprised. I talked to my father about it. He advised me that he had taken out Home Title Lock about 8 months earlier. We logged into Home Title Lock. He had 5 alerts. Immediately we contacted them, and within about 2 weeks, the deed was put back in my parents' name.
If you give us a call right now and mention promotional code LOCKIT, we'll give you your first 30 days of protection absolutely free.
Home Title Lock lived up to every promise they made.
Go online or call now, 1-800-673-1633, and sign up today.
Steel tools are as tough and dependable as the people who use them. This Father's Day, give him the gift that's built for Dad. Right now, save $20 on the MS-162 gas-powered chainsaw. Real steel.
Pete Hegseth's new book,
The Army I Fought For has gone woke, and it's time to fix that.
exposing the problems in today's military, how they're putting soldiers and America at risk, and what needs to change before it's too late. The War on Warriors. Order now at foxnewsbooks.com.
Dr. Anthony Fauci testifying in a House hearing that the Wuhan lab leak isn't just a Republican conspiracy theory after all.
Actually, I've also been very, very clear and said multiple times that I don't think the concept of there being a lab leak is inherently a conspiracy theory. What is conspiracy is the kind of distortions of that particular subject, like it was a lab leak and I was parachuted into the CIA like Jason Bourne and told the CIA that they should really not be talking about a lab leak.
Thank you.
That's the conspiracy.
What a difference 4 years makes. Iowa Senator Joni Ernst joins us now. Senator, good morning to you. This testimony yesterday, what did you think about it, and where is this going? What happens next?
Oh, my goodness. Well, we know that this has been going on for years, the debate over how this occurred. COVID-19 pandemic shut down the world. And you know what? It looks like our taxpayers have been funding efforts of gain of research, gain of function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. And finally, after all of these years, HHS and NIH have admitted that, yes, our taxpayers were paying for that. So it's good that Fauci was in front of the House yesterday for that subcommittee hearing. But again, there's a lot more that we need to get to the bottom to, but I am glad that my efforts have finally paid off to defund these efforts by American taxpayers.
Yeah, there's the whole answer of why, question of why. A Fox News Digital review found over 94 million of your taxpayer dollars was sent to EcoHealth. That's the research firm accused of using taxpayer funds to conduct gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab. But based upon what you heard from Fauci yesterday, Senator, did you get any answers as to the why? Why those taxpayer dollars have been funding a lab doing gain-of-function research, which sounds like it's really, really bad, and the evidence shows it's really, really bad, in China for the last couple of years? It makes no sense.
It does. It makes no sense whatsoever. And why on earth would we be sending money to EcoHealth Alliance, again, through NIH, and purposefully direct it to China, to the Wuhan Institute of Virology? And over again, we heard that no, there's no gain of function research going, nothing to see here. Don't look at the man behind the curtain, for heaven's sakes. And now we find out that, yes, absolutely, taxpayer dollars have been funneled to that type of research, again, in a country of our adversary at their Wuhan Institute of Virology. So we don't have the answers, but I did realize many years ago that we needed to cut off this funding, and I have been nicking away here and there in every avenue possible to stop our taxpayer dollars from going to that. Finally, we have heard now from the administration that EcoHealth Alliance will no longer be funded. So I continue my oversight to make sure that that is true, that is accurate, that no more of our money will go to this agency, and heaven forbid it ever end up in the hands of our adversaries again.
So, Senator, you recently announced that you will be seeking a third term in the U.S. Senate, but you also are open to a role in a Trump cabinet. What do you have your eye on in terms of that?
Well, I would say whatever way I can project Iowans' voices, I am happy to do it in whatever capacity. But I will say that as Republicans, boy,